Hi there. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We got some testimony from the mechanical man of the future. I don't know why I called him that. We pressed and learned we learned some stuff, but we didn't get like any new statements or new evidence or anything cool like that, so we kind of had to work with what we got. Now again, I'm not entirely sure, like there doesn't seem to be an obvious flaw or an obvious like lie, as far as I can tell. But again, given how Reno-State kind of lingered on this particular statement, I feel like this should be the right answer or the right statement to present something on. But let's just see. Or maybe this one. Because perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow. Then I don't think we have any evidence that would prove that it was flawed. And again, it wasn't a matter of being flawed. Like, even though Trevor's not one to admit it, you know, old Hairbrain got scammed. So I don't think that's it. So I think we can count this one out. Then there's this one. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads. Yeah, everyone saw that. I don't know if we can really, like, disprove that that's what happened. So I feel like we can discount that one. This one's still kind of sussy. He provided me with the blueprints. It was no trick. I mean, that part might be a lie, but the meat is what is true, because, I mean, Hairbrain corroborated that part of it, what happened regardless, that he was the one who made the blueprints. And then this is just, you know, I definitely don't think the contradiction is going to be here, so we can eliminate that one. We can probably eliminate that. We can eliminate that one, and probably eliminate this one. So I feel confident about the third statement being the problematic one. But where to? I'm just not sure what evidence we would go with, you know? But I think, speaking of evidence, we haven't fully examined everything we have, so I'm gonna take a few minutes and see what we get here. Because there's this head that's supposed. Wait, can we even examine this? Is there anything to examine? Okay, key. Hey, look at that. Ah, this lock does look very strong, doesn't it? There's definitely no way you could remove the mask yourself if it was put on you. What a terrible way to treat someone, even a convicted criminal. I know. It's starting to make me livid, actually. Mr. Naruhodo, please. I mean, just think about it. Imagine if you had an itch on your cheek all of a sudden. You'd be utterly helpless. I think there's more pressing concerns than the itch on your cheek. But yeah, I guess. But I'm not sure. That warrants quite so much anger. Oh. Right. Sorry. Yeah, like, so is the implication that, like, the professor was made to wear this at some point? Or or was this just being put on the mask, on the waxwork model, because they didn't know what its face looked like, so they just gave it a spooky iron mask? Because if so, this is pretty inhumane, even for, like, a murderer, I would think. Now we got this. It's a little metal plaque here. Look. Fostering burgeoning talent for the future of scientific discovery. It seems rather ironic, doesn't it? Ah, but clearly Mr. Dribble really was a very talented scientist. Yeah, supposedly. Let's see. I think we examined this camera, didn't we? Yeah, I do remember we looked at that. Then there's the glass, the photo, this smelly bird cage. Even though I see no birds. Also, what is this? Ah, look here, Mrs. Otto. Oh, yes. The wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose because it fell from such a height. Yes, from the height at which the balloon was flying down into the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. Leaving the man inside tragically dead. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. The wooden cage that was used for the demonstration, it crashed down with the victim inside, causing damage to its base. Wait a moment. Wait just a diddly darn second. All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. Okay, now I think we know. Well, look at that. See? Examining your evidence is crucial sometimes, you know? Because now it's kind of obvious. If it fell through the crystal tower, it wasn't head first, it was base first. So, like, wait a second. So if our fella, our guy, Mr. Axman, was like strapped in, you know, foot here, head here, and then he fell like just downwards, would he have really broken his neck from that fall? From that, you know, that general height? You know, I don't know. But I do know that we need to shove this fucking birdcage right in this dude's face. We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. It didn't even take me that much time. Just a little examination, a little forethought. Bada bing, bada boom. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage at one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely. Indeed, it's a lot of damage. I agree. The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense, if you ask me, is the location of that damage. Gah. All the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top. Gah! What are you saying? That's the opposite of where they should be. That's right, my lord. Apparently I was the first one to actually look at where the damage should be. This whole time. And then again, I waited to do it until just now, so I'm not so much better than you, but still. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. In fact, it's no longer based. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong to the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the base. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. Oh, that was the outcome. Switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. Okay, well I didn't piece that part together, but Ryunosuke carried the load for me. Well, gracious! Explain yourself, witness! Well... If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed, tail first into the tower. But multiple witness reports claim it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky, next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion, at an altitude of some 60 feet above ground level. Which is approximately 18 meters. I know my conversions. It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the crystal tower in the ensuing deflagration. Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Objection!
But the victim's neck was broken. Yeah, what about that? He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However he fell, it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed, I mean, I guess, but if someone fell feet first, essentially, they, like, it would have to be, I mean, I know it was far, but, like, but still, you know? Oh, something on your mind? A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebrae, actually. Wait, was it one vertebrae? Oh, hey, look, its theme is playing again. I was wondering when it was gonna play. Okay, a broken vertebrae, most likely resulting from impact from considerable height. Yeah, okay, so it was one vertebrae. Vertebra, actually, not a vertebrae. Also, how do you know so much about fucking vertebrae and where he broke what? He wasn't quiet for long. I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zykes. This witness is clearly a swindler, and one who deceived a personal friend of his. Good question. Maybe the explanation is that Rock Van Zykes is just a fucking asshole, you know? And he doesn't give a shit about his friends. Or people who were his friends, I suppose. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. What? Sorry? Care to elaborate? Are you speaking for Barack now? I feel like that's the undertone here. Ah, yes. And there's one more point the defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates. What? It seems to me that the cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Trevor, you'll amend your testimony with details of this truth. Of course. You must treat the matter scientifically, after all. Ugh, I nearly had him there. Oh wait, so this is only part one of his first contradiction. Or obviously, this is still his basic testimony, not like his second one, you know? Also, nice doing the robot there. The kinesis clearly took place because there's nowhere else 30 feet high for the bird cage to have fallen from. What do you mean?
Hold it!
Yeah, he could have fallen from anywhere, see, realistically. Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was alive on stage in front of the audience. Sorry. Yes, there are lots of witnesses who saw Mr. Assman on the experimentation stage. That's true. And the victim's neck broke as a result of an impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere. I mean, yeah, there was a fall at some point. The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. That difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance the birdcage fell. And there's no other location from which the cage could have fallen that distance if it didn't drop out of the sky. Ergo, the victim himself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the crystal tower. A pungent scientific analysis. Dear me. Every time I hear it explained, it sounds increasingly plausible. Bah. Oh yes. It's all very well thought out. Certainly all the spectators on the day saw it. The birdcage plummeting 30 feet through the air, I mean. Irritatingly, yeah. Yeah, irritatingly is a word for it. Okay. Is there anywhere else 30 feet high where the birdcage could have fallen from? Let's think about this. What about this? Okay, well, see, there is this, right? This, like, drop zone or whatever. Like, well, like, I noticed, I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's just kind of staring you right in the face. We don't know how far this goes, do we? Yeah, we don't have an idea of how exactly far he might have fallen. But clearly, he could have fallen somewhere. He could have fallen through that hole. And that would have been foot first, which would explain the damage that was at the base. So... seems logical. No?
Objection!
Oh, come on, that was a logical fucking... God damn it. That was perfectly logical. Ugh. You tell me that wasn't it? Wait, was that the right statement?
Hold it!
Wait, no, I didn't mean to press. Fuck. Sorry. Yeah. Science, distance, falling, yada yada. We know how it goes. We know this song and dance. We've done it before. Yeah, just because something sounds plausible doesn't make it true. Okay, maybe there's a more obvious answer that isn't the giant hole here. Because we don't know how far it goes. Let's see. Okay, so I believe what we established, right, was that before, is that their story is that the thing kinesis... Okay, let me review the evidence once more. I think after what we proved, we were like, their story is that the thing was beamed up into the balloon and then it got shot, and that's how it fell, I think. So maybe, maybe not. Although we still don't know why this was in the fucking Professor Waxwork. Or do we? Let's try this again. Let's just try it. See what happens.
Objection!
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps we do need to reconsider this shit, Marinosuke. Even I didn't quite buy that, but I wanted to go for it at least. Maybe maybe this?
Objection!
Okay, yeah, because, okay. Now that I think about it, that does kind of seem like the more obvious point, right? Because then, you know, they could kind of go from there. There are other places he could have fallen from, you know? Or other ways he could have fallen that same distance. I assume, is what he's going to get at. But, hey, we still have 3 hearts, so we're good to go. This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. Now, we know that somehow the birdcage appeared in mid-air before falling down to the crystal tower. Like so. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, why do they keep pointing out the meters? However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there is one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No. Oh, I guess I'm going to be the one to point it out, huh? Oh boy. Well, when a player's in defense has a possible explanation to put forward. Go ahead, Counsel. Yes, my lord. Of course. Of course. You will indicate the place to which you are referring on this saved diagram. The alternative location from which the birdcage could possibly have fallen the requisite 30 feet. Okay, maybe this is the same way to get to the idea that I was proposing earlier with the big hole, right? Because, like, if he was right here, and he fell here, maybe that'd be about 30 feet? Perhaps? Maybe? I don't know, you know? Let's just throw it out there, see what we get.
Take that!
If it had fallen from here, the birdcage would have plummeted the same 30-foot distance. Okay, I guess that wasn't the right answer. If that's my learned friend's claim, I suggest he demonstrates for the court. Personally. Huh? And you may consider this a parting gift, counsel. Ugh. I feel like I've just hit the deck from 30 feet up anyway, now. Okay, okay. Don't give me recourse to make the next fall from 60 feet up. Okay, you don't gotta be a dick about it, Mr. Judge Man. The alternative location from which the birdcage could possibly have fallen the 30 feet. Okay. Maybe here? That's not 30 feet. It's obviously not 30 feet. Okay, am I missing something here? Because I feel like maybe this is something obvious. Okay, I don't think he was, like, fell upwards or he was, like, pushed up. I don't think that's it. Fiddly-dee. Fiddly-doo. I don't know what it is I should do. Here? I don't know. At this point, I'm just kind of fucking throwing straws.
Objection!
Or throwing darts at the board and seeing where I get. Maybe, like, here specifically, right? Maybe this, like, specific dot?
Take that! Objection!
Well, fuck me, sideways, and call me Charlie, because it seems I have been, befucked. Oh god, I'm gonna go through all this fucking, God, I can't even auto-do this one, you know?
Guilty!
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, okay.
Guilty! Guilty!
Okay, I should...
Guilty.
Kill me!
Also, can I just say, is it normal for, like, children to be jurors in England? I feel like that's maybe a little too extreme or unnecessary for a child. Yeah, I know. Shut up, Judge, please. I hate you. Die. Man, I should have... Okay. The smart money would have been to fucking, saved beforehand, so I could just, like, save scum it. And now I had to go to all this dialogue. But, whatever. We gotta keep on trucking. Okay. Well, by retry from the start of the current scene, you're not gonna, like... Okay, you're right here. Cool, cool. Awesome. You know, let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Just go ahead and save. Just to be on the safe side. Bro, I don't fucking know, man. Here?
Take that! Objection!
Okay, once again, I feel like I'm maybe missing a key issue here. Wait.
Take that!
Oh. Oh, wait. God damn it. Yeah, that was kind of obvious, wasn't it? I thought it was saying, like, where it ended up, or, like, what distance it must have been to fall 30 feet, but it was saying, like, what could it have fallen from in the first place, you know? Like, ugh, duh. The place I'm referring to is here. But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with. Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, The birdcage was in the machine on the stage. But what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself. Go on, Counsel. It turns out that the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. That it was. I mean, did have to climb stairs, you know, that whole time. You'll see it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon was above the crash site. Gah. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. Yeah, so that was my whole point all along, that he fell through the hole that was obviously there. Which I feel like I could have explained and justified if I just showed him the photo, where there was a big hole in the middle, but whatever. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assume there to be a void underneath, this birdcage and the one seen by the audience would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Yeah, what do you say to that? Haha. Now do your dumb JoJo pose. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there was not one birdcage, but two. My learned friend has no evidence that the stage had such a contrivance in its design. Oh, but I do. Someone is responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself, it's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion. Yeah, there's clearly a big open hole. Good lord! The metal grill that formed the floor of the machine is undone. Yes, most likely blown open by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated. Immediately! Haha. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere. Mr. Trevor! Gah. It was you who built the kinesis machine, which means that it was you who built the two bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Harebrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference, because it's the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Assman's life, and lay the blame firmly at the Professor's door. Something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Enoch Trevor. Oh, jeez. Gah! Oh, wah! That's a funny animation. Nice corpse hitting the ground sound effect. If my learned friend has reached the end of his wild assertions... Well, you literally poured that bottle out just to break it. Come on now. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument. Slowly, but surely. What? Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts. 2? Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of staff from the exhibition has attested to that. And I believe members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment. In other words, Mr. Trevor had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages. But I've already explained why he would have needed to. The nonsense with the crossbow? That doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigation team's report is unequivocal on that point. And the second flaw in your assertion is a distinct lack of motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. A motive? Do I have to think of everything myself? Yeah, can't the fucking prosecution do their job a little? I have here a contract provided by the witness. What contract is this, Lord Van Zeeks? The contract into which Mr. Dreber entered it with the victim, Mr. Assman. It reads, Mr. Dreber is to receive 30% of all remunerations from government grants or other income. 30%? Apparently very favorable contractual conditions. But there was one very important provision bolted onto that clause. What provision? Mr. Dreber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Assman's death. The diametric opposite, in fact. Ugh. Okay, yeah, that actually is kind of not looking... Okay, fine, valid. Okay, valid, but still. You're clearly a fucking asshole. Need I say more? The witness had neither an opportunity nor reason to commit the alleged crime. In short, the possibility of Mr. Dreber having done as you suggest is nil. What? It seems the defense's assertion was somewhat wide as a mark. Lord Van Zeeks, we will submit the contract as evidence, please. My contract, of course. It's true. If Dreber had no opportunity to switch the birdcage under the stage with the one in the Crystal Tower, he couldn't have done it. And in any case, I have no idea what his motive might have been. There is one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 birdcages. The prosecution is unable to deny that. So I'm sure you're on the right lines, Mr. Naruhodo. And I've no doubt there are other aspects of your assertion that are undeniable truths, too. Yeah, fuck yeah, you're right, Cesaro. Well, it would seem the defense has no rejoinder to offer. I don't know how is supposed to sound, other than like a real throaty, choking kind of laugh. Well, I must say I'm a little surprised. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead my reputation is defiled. But the prosecution's counter has set the record straight, I think. It's impossible that I'm the culprit.
Objection!
At the beginning of this trial, we believed that there was only 1 birdcage. Yet now we know there must have been 2. In other words, there was more to the demonstration than we realized at first. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Get to the point. The stage demonstration was constructed and set up in its entirety by you, Mr. Dreber. Therefore, it's inconceivable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. So if circumstances mean that it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that someone else was involved. Someone else? Counsel, are you suggesting? Yes, my lord. Mr. Dreber had an accomplice.
Objection!
An accomplice now? Well then, I presume you're prepared for what's to come. Now that you're accusing not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes. If these accusations turn out to be false, then make no mistake. The prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander. Bring it on, bitch, is what I would say. Well, counsel, do you intend to pursue this course and formally accuse another party of involvement in this matter? What do I do here? At the moment, This is little more than a hunch on my part. I don't know for sure if Mr. Ever had an accomplice, or even if he really is the culprit here. One way or another, though, I have to make my position clear, as a lawyer. So what's my stance going to be? Did Drebber have an accomplice, or not? And hey, that's as good a time as any to leave things off, hey? Oof. This accomplice thing kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest, but, I guess, like, realistically, if Drebber couldn't have physically done the things that we needed him to do in order to be guilty, then it makes sense that someone else would be involved. But, like, who could that be, exactly? I'm not entirely sure myself. But, this is a nice, you know, cliffhanger-y moment to leave off on, I think. So I think we'll wrap things up for now. I think, obviously, like, most in situations where they ask you a question like this, you go for it. You don't just, like, you know, puss out. It just kind of take, you know. So I think we know what the answer should be, but, regardless, we'll continue from this point on in the next episode. Nice to see we're, learning some new information and making some small progress at least. But until then, and we figure out who the accomplice might be, that'll be in the next episode. Until then, though, I'll see you around.